we've seen that already retrospectively. There's tens of thousands of searches being used. We saw one every 2 minutes recently that police forces were doing. So whilst this is now being instructed by the Home Office, this has already been done. There was no manifesto saying these things would be done. Clearview were fined 7.5 million for scraping all our data from Facebook and other platforms. They're often mismatches. We know that there are data breaches. Look, they can't even protect our own service people in Afghanistan and spies. The idea that they could prevent data breaches for some of these things is ludicrous as well. But we've got genuine issues with just tracking and privacy, and the idea that ordinary citizens, everyday citizens, are not suspects. We should be entitled to enjoy our own privacy, even in public spaces, unfettered, not being scanned, not being monitored, not being surveyed consistently and tracked. And we're increasingly seeing that. And that's why digital ID, alongside this facial recognition, is all part of what we need with the Digital Bill of Rights to say, we can't have these ever-encroaching measures without clarity. So, for instance, at the moment, the police can go to a passport database, but they have to ask the government every single time. We've got precedents around things like listening on phones and looking at the mail, if people still get mail. But we need those ring-fenced protections from the point of view of our liberties, privacy and rights. In the same way, in this fast evolving arena, we love technology. It can really transform our lives in positive ways. The problem is, Ian, we've got some technocrats that think that most people are not much good, that if you ask questions about borders or about migration or about lockdowns, that perhaps you shouldn't be saying those things, perhaps you should be behind bars, you certainly should be censored and shut down. We've seen it with the Rapid Response Unit, the Counter Disinformation Unit. We weren't able to know about all that till we saw the lockdown files and the Twitter files. And we've got a situation where many boast about the exciting times of a central bank digital currency, tracking everyone, no cash, everyone on camera, facial recognition. The Met itself has got tens of thousands in each borough of the public being scanned regularly. Now, the argument will always be made, well, if it can stop one bad incident, surely that's the reason to do it. But if we transform society to be one where we've got a dystopian biometric state, remember, it wasn't that long ago they were saying you've all got to get a vaccine passport to come in and out of places. You have to have a mandatory procedure, which now we found out subsequently that couldn't really stop you getting something, with COVID and then they're all, oops, we lost 45,000 care workers. But it was all being tagged together around, guess who? Tony Blair's insistence we all need previously national ID, then digital ID, and pushing that situation. It doesn't take a genius to say, well, I'm protesting, I'm saying some things on social media. We've seen Lucy Connolly in there. I don't like this biometric state. You're being tracked. You're going to a protest. I was just down in Bournemouth talking to some people. They're being called white supremacists and far-right racists. These are grandparents are saying we're concerned about our local area and safety, right? They're not saying anything about colour. They don't care what colour the people are. But you see this in a situation where the state and police and two-tier policing and then two-tier policing with facial recognition and targeting certain kinds of people and making us all potential criminals is very concerning. That's why we need a digital bill of rights, and we're insisting on it. We'd love your viewers to support that, Ian.
Listen, where can people look, Alan, to find out more on supporting that?
Yeah, they can go to togetherdeclaration.org or at togetherdec online and you can see us there. Thank you.